There's a couple of parameters that are not turned on, perhaps because we don't have them yet. They're not approved yet, like this fast stat. But you've got some ability to change limits, to change your numbers, and to mostly alter the alarm status. That's really the point of that. If the alarm is going off, and you had talked earlier about, I don't want to punch that button every 2 minutes. We're just going to change the alarm parameters. And you can do that for each individual thing. All right, mine is showing, I got a 97 pulse ox. And again, if you want to go back to your main screen, there's 2 ways. What are they? Back button or the home button? Sir. Okay, answer the question that's asked. Yes.
For us.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's not much it'll do. You can play with them.
Okay.
But there's not much that it'll do. It's mostly intended for more extreme situations of patient care.
Okay.
So the answer is yeah, but you know, in the deep of my soul, I'd say why would you? Right? All right. All right, let's go back. Hit the home button. So now you should have an EKG, 2 EKGs, and a pulse ox. I don't have, and I don't think I want to open the capnography sensors that you have, right? Do we have?
I don't have any that are already open, but we can burn one or a couple because I've got some.
There should be one in each bag.
Yeah.
Included in the monitor.
Oh, great.
Pack, so.
Perfect.
All right, if you want to open them and use them, they're the same as what you're used to.
The yellow ones, though, are the hospital will use them for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. But you'll notice this is exactly the same connector. And since it's on my chalkboard here of things that I got to talk about, we remember that this goes where? Do you remember which side this goes on?
On the side after facing it. Under the lid.
Correct. It's on the left side of the door that's not waterproof, he says. Open the door. Insert the connector. Twist until it's tight. Now I got to tell you, this sensor is one of those sensors that you have to make finger tight. There are 2 gold bands, one inside, one outside, and those gold bands have to be secure and tight. All right, and now you should be getting information from your capnograph. And it's basically the same technology you're used to. There's a little bit of a warm-up time, a couple of seconds. You'll see a calibration spike. All right, y'all got something you see? You can use that, I guess.
Are these new ones? If they're unopened, yes. There's like a braid. Those are filters.
Is it the yellow connector?
Yeah.
Yeah, the yellow ones are designed for, because when you buy any monitor as a gift with purchase, you get a sample of all the different ones. I like using this. In the hospital, if you need to have your patient on that for longer than 24 hours, you switch to the yellow connector because it has more filters in it. So that's not what you guys would be using,
I
but
saw filters like, you know, how many times do they get locked up when they vomit blood?
She's not, at least she's not ahead of me.
That's what's
I didn't want to waste it.
Whoa.
I missed that.
Like when they, a lot of times we use it,
Well,
they
yeah.
vomit, and
Yeah.
like, then we have to change it out because
Yes.
it's plugged. Is
Yes.
that what that filter is supposed to
Yes,
be
it
for?
also helps with humidity over time, because if you're on it for a long time, it can add a condensation inside the line, and so this is supposed to take out all the vomit and then also help dehumidify the line. So again, it's what you would see in the ICU for long periods.
All right, questions. I know we just had one. Is there anything that you need to know to get this A to work, B to sense, C to provide you the information that you need? It is exactly the same technology as you're used to, only updated. Everything on this is updated to 2021 and 2020. I'm not even saying 2020, to 2021 standards. All right, no questions? All right, if you would unplug your sensors from the entire CO2. Because now you're all getting alarms that there's no breath. All right, if you would, now that you're done with that, we're not getting any alarms. If you would press the lead to EKG button, please. All right, so are you all connected to the all leads to your simulators? Here we go, simulators. All right. So once you've pressed your 12 lead button, once you pressed your EKG button, you're going to see at the very bottom of the screen you can view 12 lead. Let's do that. Let's press that button. Look at you hesitated. You're like, oh, he's going to yell at me. All right, so we're going to view 12 lead. So the 12 lead right now is sensing all of your 12, and mine doesn't even connect it, so I'm going to use yours. No, you're good. All right, you all see your 12 lead, right? On the MRX, when you wanted to acquire a 12 lead, you wanted the interpretive statement, you put in the age and gender. The MRX prompted you for age and gender. It said, the MRX starting was start acquire, was the button you would press. On this, on the Pro, the button that you're going to want is start record. You see it up in the upper right? Let's do that. Now you'll notice, right now it doesn't prompt you. I believe we already put in an age and a gender for the interpretive statement. All right, this works essentially the same as the MRX, in that it gathers information, reports the information, provides you a printout automatically of your 12 lead. So let's see how that goes. What does it say?
It says send EKG motion
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Mine says they are on board, they were very positive. The feedback that we got from them, we got a few things to do with fluttering and all that stuff. Most of the
Ours
hospitals
is
have training, some of the things.
Oh, yeah, that's why.
I don't think the alarm and stuff on like have
A lot of data. If you hit the CAPNO waveform, go ahead and hit the CAPNO waveform. You'll see it to the immediate right on the bottom. It says CAPNO alarm. Turn that off. All right. What do you think of that 12 lead printout? Pretty sharp? Do you get any other information with that printout? All right, if you could just stay with me, we're creating some noise that's going to get on the camera. Keep the side conversations to a low roar. Any questions? All right, is there a button that says send 12 lead? Would you press that button, please, for me?
Send EKG, right?
Send EKG, yes, sir. And then you should see 4, we're calling them support centers. What I'd like you to do is press the one for JCAD. And then what you've just done is identified JCAD as your destination and allows JCAD to open up their ability to look at the 12 lead EKG.
You guys already have it selected.
All right, questions?
So it's in.
Like if it's already set,
You can just press the button to the other one.
It's in.
It's a,
oh, so yeah.
all right. Is there any way we can show now? Thank you. So what we're going to do is show you, we'll just show you a 12 lead, how the 12 lead shows up. But what you're going to see is how this is sent to the hospitals, and then we'll take a quick break. I know we've been out for a while, or sitting down for a while, and I appreciate your patience.
We're gonna try this on these screens and see what happens.
Yes, sir. Why are we alarming?
Why things shut off? How it turned off.
Oh, you're sick. All right. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over just for a second.
Okay, so
Make the bad man stop.
we good? Turn your simulators on.
Use that to turn your simulator.
Yeah, it shuts off.
Oh.
They time out as well.
So if we go from asystole to engage rhythm, it'll automatically go strip.
Oh, okay.
Any red alarm, any major alarm will automatically put a strip.
Okay. So it's pretty close to assistance.
So, how do we get it to stop on the cap mode again? It's alarming for that.
Just go into the cap mode.
Go ahead, Dustin.
All right, who sent a 12 lead? Everybody sent a 12 lead? We didn't send one. All right, and what monitor are you on? 8. All right, so I'm gonna go to Tempus 8, right here. This is one thing that they can see they can see your live patient data. So this is the rhythm that you have on your monitor right now, correct? That's your blood pressure, that's your heart rate, that's your everything, right? So what the hospital sees, they'll see this 12 lead here. And we know it's important because there's this number 1 up here, orange. That means that you have sent a 12 lead to the hospital and they need to look at it. Okay, they'll click into it. Here's the view of their 12 lead. Okay, the one that you just sent them. Okay, what they can do is they can review this 12 lead. And right now we have 2 diagnoses, STEMI and no STEMI. That's the feedback that we're going to provide to you, okay? So we could say, yep, that's a STEMI, and then we're going to provide just a few instructions, okay? Yes, that is a confirmed STEMI. We're going to have you proceed right to the cath lab. It is a confirmed STEMI, however, the cath lab is we're going to have you directed into the ED, or no STEMI identified, ED admitted upon arrival. Okay, so we could provide that feedback. In here, we could provide notes like repeat 12 lead in 5. Okay. Now, I want to send that back to your monitor. Okay. When you send that 12 lead to a support center, it's almost instantaneous. The information coming back to you is going to take about a minute. In the upper right-hand corner of your screen, when that information comes back to you, you're going to see a green indicator EKG review. And you'll also see the light on here, light up green, it'll make a lot of noise. I'll send this back to everybody so they know. Okay? You can click right there on that. Then there. And then over to review, and you'll see all the information. So I will sit down and send this to everybody so you can see it.
That's pretty.
Okay. But don't go no farther yet. Who's on 4?
Oh, we are, but I don't think we sent that 12 lead.
You did not send a 12 lead. Send a 12 lead. Right. Who's on 3?
We are on 3, and also did not send when we're setting that.
Okay, send a 12 lead.
We're on 2 and we sent 1.
Yay!
All right, thank you for listening.
All right, so we can go in here and review these. Now, I'm not looking at to send any notes. The other screen that they can look at is just like this, anything with the orange. They haven't reviewed. Hopefully, your hospital won't be receiving 8 sending patients at once. And they'll be able to get through this pretty quick.
Especially if they have one cat. Right.
And to be clear real fast, we're doing this sending and that sort of stuff for training right now. Typically, if I want Kevin to get on a review, I don't need to send him anything.
Nope.
I just need to tell him to get on to Tempus 3.
That's correct.
Alright, so see you guys reviewed your information. Did I get everybody? If you haven't got it, you will be getting it soon. So now that you got that green indicator message at the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can tap on that. So if you've already done that, then you should have a screen that says interpretation, summary, and review, correct? Everybody have that? You got it? Yeah. Okay. So if you go to review, you'll see exactly what their diagnosis was, what their instructions to you are, and any notes that they may have put in that system. Okay? Now.
If I could throw one thing in.
Yeah.
So if you would do this for me, if you have a patient you know you're gonna send a 12 lead to, or somebody's serious, we talked about the green telephone button. Would you all press the green telephone button? You all, what does it say there when it says support center? Yours says JCAD? Right, so it's always gonna send to JCAD. But if you press that button, support center, it's gonna bring up the hospitals that you're gonna wanna transport to. So if you wanna add to the destinations, that's where you press the destination hospital. And as soon as you press that, they start getting data. And they'll get all of your data, but they won't get it until you designate that they're the ones that you want them to see it. Make sense? And that's in the green button, so go right ahead, I'm so sorry for interrupting.
Oh, no, you're fine. So, once you confirm those instructions, it says something to the effect of, hey, we got what you're saying, and here's our ETA. So you can type in whatever your ETA is there in that particular button. Or you can also say, yeah, we're not gonna do that, but we'll see you in 10, okay? Generally speaking, we don't wanna hit that button, because we should be doing what they were advising us to do, correct?
Yeah.
All right,
So just
questions?
throw that box in, so received and understood, received and declined, and then throw in an ETA.
I'm declining theirs.
I don't even, sir.
So they send us orders and stuff like that, we can only see that once.
No, it's just.
No. You can go back and see those.
Yeah.
So if you go to your, hold on. If you go back to your 12 lead, like, yeah, you 12 lead, and then previous recording. Then go to interpretation and review, and then review. Now you're right back under where you were.
Receive. So I'm seeing those, my EPA.
Are we all clear on transmitting a 12 lead? Crystal. Okay. This is important. If our hospitals have this particular screen up, the only way they will see it is if you physically get in there and transmit that 12 lead. Okay? If you're not transmitting the 12 lead, it's never gonna show up. So if you're just taking in a normal patient, okay, you don't need to do this. If you're taking in a STEMI and you want them to review that 12 lead, you have to transmit it to them. Make sense? Otherwise, they will probably be living on this screen. And then you just tell them what finish you're on this board. We can go in there and look at it.
Those numbers can correlate with trust.
We're gonna try to get those correlated, at least initially.
And in your report, that's where if you do have an oddity because of maintenance or something, you might be Med 5 using Tempus 7. That'd be pretty important to communicate to them, you know.
Now, they're only able to see the monitors that have selected that hospital. I think we're going to talk about how to do that outside of the EKG here in a second. Dan's going to talk about that. How to set your monitor saying, this is the hospital I'm going to.
You already did that, you were like,
I already did that.
Oh, fantastic. Great.
And then are
I
we
shouldn't step out.
gonna use this, for example, going with the STEMI stuff, as the pre-alert type system that we're using now with dispatch?
No.
Okay.
We're still getting on the radio, hey, you got a STEMI alert, we're doing all that good stuff still. Now, if you want them to see that totally right now, it's transmit. It's send it to Lisa, St. Luke's.
I would say the common sense thing is if you sent that and the comment back is agreed, we're activating our STEMI team, you probably don't have to do the other thing.
Here
But-
is
We just have, yeah.
the other warning. The hospitals were not set up to do this today. So, what is soon gonna be now, because I heard him say that. The answer is we don't know. It's gonna take them time to get a screen developed, get logins, get all that good stuff. We can have it set up on our side in about 2 minutes. So it's then making room for us to have a monitor that they can use. Talked to Lee Summit, St. Luke's East, Tina York was there for an HCA rep, West Missouri was in the room. I think they are all on board with this. I have really good indication that they're on board.
Has anybody talked to St. Mary's? Since they do also have a cath lab and some patients do want to go there.
We have not.
The trick with this is, and maybe Dustin mentioned it, if we don't utilize this pretty frequently, i.e. we only had like 7 STEMIs last year that went to Lee Summit, it's not a huge number. If we only use it 7 times a year, they aren't going to know how to use it. So it's really important that we select the hospital pretty much every single time we physically can. And as a workflow, if I'm the EMT getting ready to get out of the truck, hey, where are we going again? Oh, we're going to Lee Summit. The last thing I can be doing, if I haven't already done it, which is great if you have, is blue phone, select hospital, Lee Summit. Okay, so green phone, I'm colorblind.
Phone.
Green phone, Lee Summit, select as they're getting out of the truck, as that last step. I hate to put more work on you guys, but that last little thing, and that opens up that case for that hospital to be able to see it. But like St. Mary, the reason I bring that up, St. Mary's we go to 10 times in a year. It's not enough for them to add a process on their side. So we're trying to at least starting off, since we're the only agency doing this really right now, we're starting with the big hitters, the ones we go to frequently. That's kind of.
Understand.
But you have,
Yeah, now, staying with our protocols and to be within 10 minutes of our 12 lead, and trying to get the hospital notified as quick as possible, what is our range, our Wi-Fi range that's gonna be activated? Truck or?
that's a very good question, we're gonna have to figure that out. But here's the good news, okay? We're out in the middle of nowhere, we don't have Wi-Fi signal, right?
Okay.
As soon as we capture that Wi-Fi signal, everything's going up to the cloud.
So you can already send it.
You can send it whenever you don't have signal.
Right.
As soon as it gets a
Acquires.
signal, it sends it.
Okay.
And we would never delay any type of care, little box,
No.
big box, out, care to the patient first, data later.
Right, no, exactly. I was just trying to figure out if we knew the range or whatever, I meant, just trying to give them the earliest convenient. notification.
You can take a 12 lead in the house, never transmit it, they can still see it. See that first one there? So this one was sent, this one was not, they can still go back and look at it.
The sent isn't, everything is just being uploaded to the cloud. The sent is simply, you're not actually sending the 12 lead, you're sending a notice that there's a 12 lead.
I see.
That's all it is. It's not like that data package is any different.
And their screen, whenever you send that 12 lead, is gonna ding, ding, it's gonna make a audible noise for them to.
Unless somebody's gone in there and hit mute on that monitor because they don't like that noise.
Right.
Good enough. Thank you.
What happens if we're in an area that are right by the cloud?
Absolutely. So, right now, they are working in our system. So we control their passwords, their logins, all that good stuff. In the future, if Lee Summit Fire comes on board with CJC and all these other agencies, we'll have a product where the hospital could buy that system, have their own access, and invite JCAT into it, invite CJC and Lee Summit into it. And again, so long as you're hitting, Lee Summit Medical Center, they would be able to see all of this.
So, they get this screen up and running, I choose Lee Summit Medical Center on any patient, doesn't matter. They can now, once I click it and hit confirm or however that whole thing happens, they can go in and look at the call.
Yes.
But they are not necessarily going to know with any sort of alert unless I send some sort of alert.
That is correct. Okay, yep. So you're gonna do your radio report, 15 or 20 minutes out. Hey, this is Med 5 in correctional facility, 35-year-old female, abdominal pain, I'm on 10-6. Then they'll come over here,
That's the alert. Tempus 6.
and then they'll find, what did I say, 10-6? All right, so now I got all your vitals, I got all that good stuff. I can go back in here and look at everything I need to look at. I can look at your 12 leads, put a patient's name in, patient's name would be in there.
Abdominal pain clicks.
All that stuff would be in there.
And the benefit of putting that patient's name in is they're going to be able to check that patient in ahead of time. They're going to be able to start that stuff. So first name, last name, date of birth, they're going to be able to get that patient entered if they've never been there before, which is always a huge slowdown, especially for our TCD patients. This will speed that up.
Maybe we'll have big sheets on me.
Right, exactly. Huge.
Oh, questions? Everybody stand up, please.
I'll see it.
Stand up, get some blood in those legs, answer some questions for me. Can you monitor more than one patient using Tempus and the manual? Yes.
This is my quiz.
Do you have to have the manual leads on to PACE, or can you use the pro leads? What's the answer? Have to use the leads manual from the pro in order to PACE. Sorry, the LS. Got it. Thank you. Number 3, when can the hospital see our data?
Once I select them as a hospital.
When you select them is the only time they'll be able to see that. That's correct. Does the Tempus Pro allow for two-way communication? Yes. Should we input patient name and DOB in the Tempus Pro? Should we? What's the benefit? We just talked about it. Very good. Take 5 minutes, get a bio break. Let's come back. We're almost done.